To explain how Starlink works in 2026, you have to look at it as a living orbital mesh network. It is no longer just a satellite beaming a signal to a house. It is a massive, self-healing web of lasers and phased array antennas. Here is the deep dive into the 5 core pillars of the 2026 Starlink architecture, featuring the latest verified data on the V3 satellites and the 480 km shell reconfiguration. As of early 2026, SpaceX is executing a massive shell-lowering operation, migrating approximately 4,400 satellites from the original 550 km orbit down to a leaner 480 km. This shift is driven by a critical realization in orbital mechanics. The closer you are to the user, the lower the latency. At 480 km, the slant range, the distance a signal travels, is shortened, allowing Starlink to push latencies consistently below 20 milliseconds, performance that finally rivals premium terrestrial fiber optics. Beyond speed, this move is a masterstroke in space sustainability. At 480 km, atmospheric drag is significantly higher. A dead satellite that has lost propulsion will now naturally burn up in the atmosphere within just a few months, compared to the 5+ years it would take at higher altitudes. This self-cleaning orbit ensures that SpaceX can maintain its massive fleet of over 9,000 active satellites while minimizing the long-term risk of space debris. For the user, it means a more stable, lower latency connection that is physically closer to their device than ever before. In 2026, Starlink is no longer tethered to nearby ground stations. Every V2 Mini and V3 satellite in the current fleet is equipped with multiple infrared laser transceivers. These lasers allow satellites to talk to one another at the speed of light in a vacuum. Because light travels roughly 47% faster through the vacuum of space than it does through glass fiber-optic cables on Earth, the Starlink laser mesh has become the fastest long-distance data transit system ever built. This space mesh allows for true global roaming. If you are on a research vessel in the middle of the Pacific, your request beams up to a satellite, which then laser hops that data across a chain of satellites until it finds a gateway ground station on a different continent. This system is self-healing. If one satellite in the chain moves out of range, the laser terminals automatically retarget a new neighbor in milliseconds. It turns the entire constellation into a single, global orbital router that operates independently of local ground infrastructure. The satellites being launched in 2026 are a far cry from the prototypes. The current V3 Beast satellites are designed specifically for deployment by Starship. A single V3 satellite provides nearly 1 terabit per second 1 Tbps of downlink capacity, an order of magnitude improvement over Gen 1. This massive jump in bandwidth is what allows Starlink to offer gigabit to the home packages in 2026, even in areas with high user density that previously suffered from congestion. To handle this fire hose of data, SpaceX has moved its backhaul, the link between the satellite and the ground, into the E-band spectrum. This ultra-high frequency band acts like a multi-lane superhighway, allowing the satellites to dump massive amounts of data into ground stations without interfering with the user's Ku-band signal. These satellites are also the first to use Argon Hall-effect thrusters, which are cheaper and more efficient than Krypton, allowing the constellation to maintain its lower 480 km orbit with incredible precision. One of the most radical shifts in 2026 is the direct-to-cell payload. These satellites act as cell towers in the sky, equipped with massive 25 square meter phased array antennas. These antennas are sensitive enough to hear the tiny 0.5 watt signal of a standard LTE smartphone from 480 kilometers away. Unlike the satellite phones of the past, this requires no hardware changes to your phone. If your device can see the sky, it can see the network. As of early 2026, this service provides reliable text, picture messaging, and basic data in every dead zone on Earth. Through partnerships with global carriers, your phone automatically roams onto the Starlink network when you lose terrestrial signal. While it isn't meant for 4K streaming yet, it provides a vital lifeline for emergency services and remote travelers. For hikers, sailors, and first responders, the direct-to-cell network is the ultimate safety net, ensuring every smartphone on the planet is now, technically, a satellite phone. To understand how it all fits together, let's follow a single click. When you press enter on a website, Your rectangle Starlink terminal uses phased array beamforming to focus an invisible pencil beam toward a specific satellite. The satellite receives this request and immediately consults its routing table to find the fastest path. If you are in a city, it beams it down to a nearby fiber gateway. If you are remote, the laser hop begins. The data is converted into infrared light and fired across the vacuum of space at nearly 300,000 kilometers per second. It reaches a satellite positioned over a high-capacity ground station, which pulls the data from the terrestrial internet and sends the response back up the chain. The entire process, from your roof through the laser mesh and back, takes roughly 30 to 45 milliseconds. It is a coordinated dance of advanced orbital physics, happening in the blink of an eye. If this deep dive helped you understand the future of global connectivity, hit that like button. Now, I want to hear from you. With Starlink latencies dropping below 20 milliseconds, are you finally ready to cut the cord on your cable provider? Or is there one thing still holding you back? Drop your setup plans in the comments below. And if you want to stay ahead of the curve on SpaceX's 2026 roadmap, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next breakdown on the gigabit speed tier rollout. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.